Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. For those of you not in the know, we're a show about podcasts featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who, well, help podcasters with their podcasting. On every episode of the podcast, a few of the folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 show submissions that we've gotten from podcasters. Why? So that we could find something we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second podcast clip. Then they'll need to pick out the correct podcast title from a lineup of 3 choices before being shown the artwork for that show. Before we get this show on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for today, starting with Max.
Hey, headliners.
Next up, we have Christy.
Let's go!
Sounding like he just scored a goal in soccer. We have Jesse.
Woohoo!
And we have Oliver.
Hello out there.
Awesome. And of course, we have Elissa playing producer as per usual now.
To quote Nicholas, howdy.
Yes, that's my favorite phrase. I use it for everything. And before we jump in, I know, Elissa, you have a little bit of an ad read for us, don't you?
I do indeed. So here it goes. Ever thought I would like to do blank or I wish I could blank? Well, us too. Here at Headliner, we're all about improvement and helping podcasters go from audio to audience. But to do this, we need your help. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, thoughts, or general feedback on anything, Headliner or just podcasting related, please let us know by filling out the quick form linked below or by emailing us at support@headliner.app. Nothing is too big or small. And in that same grain, before we get started, I would also like to shout out Bob Hesk, host of Afraid of Nothing podcast. Bob gave us some feedback to start including the episode title in the show description as well to better help contextualize some of the clips our contestants hear. So Bob is an excellent example of just giving us some feedback, and we're using it, so you should too.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you for that, Bob. Somewhere in the middle of that, I thought you were going to say that you were thankful that he gave us a heads up because Headliner, but that's fine. I'll deal with that on my own time. Anyway, let's get started with our clips for the week, starting with Max.
Let's do this.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Close your eyes. Okay, they're closed.
Yeah.
Sick.
I think we can actually send for a curtain that we just have drop in front of everyone when it's their turn.
Cool. Okay.
As with anything, you've done the easy stuff, so that last 17 is going to be expensive and difficult. There's another issue, which is around the way that climate change is stressing our infrastructure in ways that it's never been stressed before. New York City's water system dates back to the 1840s. We've constantly invested in it. We've constantly cared for it. But what we have found with climate change, it is creating new conditions where we don't have a lot of past history to guide us. We had a sewer collapse immediately following one of the record rainfalls that I talked about this past summer. And it turns out it was just down the street from a collapse that had happened in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Ida. And our engineers figured out that this was a particular design of sewer. It was 100 years old. It had done a great job, served the city very well for 100 years.
Okay. So pretty interesting clip. Max, here are your options for today.
Too close to home.
Do you want to explain to the listeners why it did?
Well, I live in New York, and apparently I should be afraid of some change-induced stuff or something. So I'm going to need to listen to this intently to figure out some safety protocols.
And by intently, you mean while you're stocking up on food and water?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
And buying a escape motorboat.
Noted. All right, well, here are your titles for today. The first one is Fixing the Future Podcast. Number 2, Water Talks Podcast. And number 3, Water Has Memory.
Well, I'm gravitating towards the first one. I like the last one, Water Has Memory, because it sounds mysterious and kind of whimsical, or like, like there's some type of lesson in there. But I don't think water has memory. Maybe it does. I don't know. But I'm going to go with the first one, fixing the future, because it seems to be a good intent to have, and sharing the stories of how we can do that seems like a great job for a podcast about it.
Very, very well elocuted. Is that the word? Yeah, elocuted. Unfortunately, completely wrong. Just like literally, if you were taking a free throw, you hit over the actual backboard. You didn't even get near the net. Water Talks podcast, actually.
It's the only one I didn't mention. So this podcast is just about water and water related issues.
Yeah, it appears so, and that's actually an
we'll find out
interesting
now.
idea for a podcast.
Nice cover. I like the cover art.
Yeah, that too. It's very well
designed. That it looks like New York. So should I also assume this is only about New York water?
Well, that's a really good question. Well, that was an accident. No, that actually we don't know. The description doesn't specify, but here's a little bit about the podcast. The clip we just listened to was from an episode entitled 10 Water Talks, Big Five, Rohit Argawala, which is the person being interviewed, presumably. And the description for the show is short and sweet with podcast about learning to live with water, which fair enough. That's exactly what it's about, and the planet is what, 75% water, something like that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly. So are we, right?
Yeah. We're something in that ballpark. Right. So really interesting stuff. Like you, Max, I would have picked Water Has Memory, although I thought it was a little ominous of a title. Like, oh yeah, water remembers, so you best be treating the planet well. But,
I didn't pick that one, actually. I just thought it was interesting.
It's a Frozen 2 quote, just saying.
I
wouldn't have known
anyone seen Frozen 2, but I guess no. Okay.
No, I guess there's a small cross-section of people in this call who have done that. Anyway.
Would have known.
Saw it in theaters. Anyone else see it in theaters? No?
I did. I saw it opening day. I was there.
Yeah. I was pretty close to opening day, but it's a good one. It's a good one. I highly recommend Frozen 2.
Duly noted.
I've got to see Frozen 1 first.
You don't really have to, but that's, you don't have to. They really, each movie stands on its own.
But you should see Frozen 1 first. And also Frozen 2.
Do you think I need to? I worked retail when Frozen 1 came out, so I heard like the whole soundtrack for like a solid year. That's like the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think you get the gist of it.
Yeah, there's a snowman. They let things go at some point and things are frozen. I get it. I'm hip. Anyway, let's jump in with our second clip, this time with Christy, who I see getting ready. Like he knew I was going straight for him.
Let's go.
Awesome.
This is what I want.
You have a sort of Michael Buffer thing going today with your voice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Where's my
Just
little...
don't say the phrase because he's very litigious.
All right, I'll use this.
Not doing it for the following reasons. And amazingly enough, it was you and Evans at Cincinnati Opera who came back to me to say, okay, well, if we were to say no traditional production, what would you do? And it was at that point that I said, I would love to do a new production. I would love to explore it completely afresh. And that it would be important, as Arthur had mentioned, to bring an entirely female Japanese design team to the process to hear their perspective as Japanese women, not only on the character Butterfly, but on the piece itself. And that then led to several years of exploring different containers and explorations of the text, of the music, and ultimately wanting to say, to maybe challenge myself, we're going to do every single note Puccini wrote.
Okay.
All right.
So, Christy, here are your options for today. Number 1, Detroit Opera. Number 2, Opera Talks Podcast. And number 3, Inside the Opera.
Oh, man, they're all... there's nothing... I'm going to go 3, Inside the Opera.
Inside the Opera. Okay. That is... You sure, by the way? Just making sure.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, they're all equally the same title, basically, like in like value.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, it is not Inside the Opera. It's Detroit Opera.
Okay.
So
there was nothing about it that screamed Detroit to me. So I was like, we're going to have to go with Inside the Opera. You know what? It's okay. I don't think I've gotten one right for a while. So as long as I'm consistent, I'm good.
It's a good attitude to have about it.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
So, okay, this is actually from an episode entitled Pre-Opera Talk, Madame Butterfly, October 15th, 2023. So this is actually a really recent episode, and it's presumably about an opera that might be called Madame Butterfly. No,
Yeah,
I'm not much of an opera
It's a Puccini
person.
opera.
Yeah, I figured because they mentioned Puccini last. But interesting stuff, just like with our last show. Short, sweet, and to the point with a description. Producing and presenting opera and dance to Detroit. Pretty cool. I take it Jesse is somewhat familiar with opera?
Yeah,
He was able to place it?
Yeah, so my bachelor's and master's are in music performance and specifically classical music. So it's been a long time listening to some Puccini and Madame Butterfly.
Okay. Would you recommend it? Do you think we all need to just
highly
take
recommend
the
it.
next red eye to Detroit?
It's
Oh,
so
definitely.
famous.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Duly noted. Moving on, Jesse, while we have you at bat, may as well,
All right.
play a clip for you.
I guess why the brand thing and others like it, well, that scenario, why those things are so compelling to us, because they're a chance for us to really look and see, like, well, okay, what does this mean? What can we do with this information, rather than just say, oh, another person who succumbed to the usual lures of fame and fortune, and has taken a fall like everyone else. I mean, there's always another layer or more to it, and we get a chance to dive in.
I think that default story of
apart.
this being a standard tale of falling into the pitfalls of fame and fortune, that needs to be seen as absolutely crazy. That needs to be seen as, like, what the fuck was going on with this person? What were they thinking? How could they behave this way?
Okay. So your options for today, Jesse, are Wet Wired, Famous Flub Ups, or Meta Metaphors Podcast.
Goodness. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we took the
So-
training wheels off for you.
So first, let's break this down like a game show. All right, we're going to use some game show logic. I've been researching how to better pick between three random choices. So first instinct, and that's a 33% chance, is number 3. However, so now if I swap my answer now to another one, I have a better chance of getting it right. And this is science. So I'm going to swap from number 3 to number 1, locking it in.
Okay. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. None of that made any sense.
Oh, it's a stat thing. It's about
It's-
percentage.
Oh yeah, it's real.
But-
I learned how to do math for this one.
There
Where
are
you
3
watch the-
options, so don't you have a 33% chance anyway?
Nope,
No.
it's 33% chance for you to pick the first option. But now if you swap it, because it's a 66% chance that you didn't choose the right one. So
This doesn't make
the
any
odds are
sense.
higher than
It's
it's
the-
in the
Okay,
other
so
one.
it's not
It's
not
a
me,
game
Max.
show. It's a game show statistical thing. It's about if someone says door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, and you pick door number 1, and it shows that there is, like, the donkey behind it and the cars behind 2 or 3, and the guy goes, hey, do you want to switch from 3 to 2? And then you, instead of having a 50% chance that you're going to get it right, it's actually 66% chance that you're going to get it right
Okay.
because
Yeah,
you're switching.
but isn't Jesse just saying that he has a 1 in 3 chance of picking one of the 3 options?
That's the thing. He hasn't picked one yet. It only works if you've already picked one and you got it wrong.
So he's assuming that he picked one and
Look,
got it
we
wrong,
all
so
know the
he's
first one
increasing
I'm
his
going to pick
odds.
is wrong. All right. I'm batting 1 for what, 23? So
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's 3. We're locking in 1. Let's go with that. Let's see what's on the board.
Look, I'm not going to question it because you got it right. It is Wet Wired, but
Nice.
I do have to reconsider a lot of things in my life right now.
And that's
Like,
science. And that's
Love that.
yeah.
Yeah, don't question the master. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly. Clearly. So it is wet wired. This was from episode 44. Enough is Never Enough, featuring Darren Drata. And the show is, well, here's the description verbatim. A show about cults, conspiracies, capitalism, and empire. Singular. Empire singular. At a loss for words. Honestly, I'm still at the whole like 33% thing. But okay. Awesome job, Jesse.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Oliver, who I really hope doesn't have any stat stuff for me because I honestly don't know if I can take it.
I have no numbers
Oh, thank God. Okay.
of knowing the right answer.
So it's not a great place, if I'm honest, and I have really struggled with handling systems here and handling the bureaucracy of trying to run a business here.
Mhm.
It would have been a lot easier for me to just become an employee of a company that was already established here. But of course, I didn't do that. Here we are.
If there's another Ray looking to build a company in Barcelona, what's one thing that you would suggest? Like you would be like, I do want to build a company in Barcelona.
Yeah, I think find yourself good people and build up your community around you.
Mhm.
There are also a lot of, I don't want to say scams, but a lot of people that are out there to hijack the efforts of people coming into the country to try and make life work. And they'll be coming as gestors, like as, what's the word? Accountants.
Okay.
Can I guess before you give me the answers?
Yeah, sure.
Is it Barcelona Business Blasters with Josh Smith?
I wish it was.
Oh my God. What?
I'm a huge fan of Mr. Smith's work.
What is happening?
Imagine.
Yeah. At that point, I would have just like thought, oh, did Elissa accidentally flip to the wrong tab at some point? No, it is not, unfortunately, Oliver.
Worth a shot.
Barcelona is in one of the titles, though, and here they are. Number 1, Building Barcelona. Number 2, Foreign Founders. Or number 3, Entrepreneurs Abroad.
Foreign Founders. Building Barcelona. What was the middle one again?
Foreign Founders was the second one.
And there was abroad?
Yeah, Entrepreneurs Abroad for the third choice.
Entrepreneurs Abroad. My natural inclination is always to pick the right one and throw it out immediately. So let's throw out Foreign Founders.
Okay. So you're saying that's the right one and you're throwing it. All right. Yeah, sure.
But now let's turn it around and pick Foreign Founders.
I love how meta we're getting with this.
The thing is, it's working for you guys. Like, just like an exceedingly bad poker player or something. Like,
Yes.
is it me? Do I just like twitch involuntarily when I read the answer?
Oh, no, that's literally the last 3 weeks. This has gotten me because I'm like, it's clearly not this one. So I'm going to throw that out. And then the one that I naturally, you know, the Seinfeld episode where George does everything opposite?
Yeah. Oh, that's how I live my life.
That's what's going on. I need to do the opposite of my instinct and everything will work out. Fantastic.
Okay. It worked. It was Foreign Founders. You were following what I call the lefty principle because I'm a lefty. I do everything backwards and it's working out for you. So the clip we just heard was from episode 18, Ray Barry, founder of DSLX. And here is our description for this podcast. Starting a company is thrilling, but also daunting. But what happens if you try to build a company in a place where you may or may not have the community and network to support you in your efforts? I want to ask Foreign Founders why they decided to take the leap and build their company in a specific location. With this podcast, we're exploring ideas, listening to founder challenges, and discovering why Foreign Founders are the most optimistic group of people I have encountered. Hosted on Acast. See acast.com/privacy for more information.
Well, I love the DSLX logo. It's like this little shadow monster there in the cover art. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it looks scary and friendly at the same time. So I'm going to trust this company.
Yeah.
I really do like it. That wasn't meant to be facetious.
No, it's genuinely a good logo for a company. Like, it grabs you and it does make you stop and go, wait, what am I looking at? You know what I mean?
It is so different that I feel like it's definitely going to stand out, and it's pretty cute too.
There you go. That's actually going to be the quote from them. They're just going to, that's the takeaway. Make it intimidating but cute.
Good
Anyway.
combo. Scary,
Yeah.
cute.
Exactly. It's kind of like that meme where someone says something and they add another thing in parentheses. So it's cute, parentheses, intimidatingly. So everyone
Like
has
if
gone
that thing
now.
crawled out
Oh,
from
yeah.
under your bed, you wouldn't be scared,
Yeah.
right? It
No.
just
No,
in the middle
I
of the night,
would
you're-
because it crawled out from under my bed. But otherwise, like if it was trying to sell me Girl Scout cookies, I would also, honestly, I'd be scared of that too. I don't like dealing with Girl Scouts, but
I'm kicking
there is a
anything that comes
situation
out
where
of the
I
bed.
might be okay with it.
well, it's trying to sell you DLSX, not
Yeah.
which I don't. I don't think they make cookies, but that's who he works for.
Fair enough. Yeah, I might still be intimidated. At
I'd
any
be
rate,
terrified.
yeah. Point.
Have you
We've
eaten
all
cookies
gone.
from the bed? None of you?
What?
No one would eat the cookies though? Like if this logo monster came out from under your bed, you wouldn't like, and it had the cookies, would you eat them or not?
I mean,
Okay.
after I punted the monster, maybe.
Of course, I'd eat the cookies. You guys are being way too harsh to the shadow monster. You're really judging its character before you've met him.
Oh, you
Give him
know
a
what it
chance.
is? Monster is his last name. It's not what he is. Yeah, that was bad. That was on me. That was a little prejudiced. I'm sorry.
No,
I gotta do better.
If you guys are in a horror movie while they're dying, like, no.
But we
The
die.
Babadook, but it's that logo.
Yeah, but you die on a full stomach, so there's a win there.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I guess I'll eat the cookies. Anyway, now that we've all gone, let's divvy up into teams. Usually break everyone up into teams, but today, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling letting you guys decide by yourself. So let's just see what happens. Fight it out in the octagon, please.
We could go all four of us on one team.
Yeah, let's
do
do it.
Oh, let's see it. Yeah. This won't go badly at all. There won't be any
No.
infighting.
More opinions, the better.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have
For
a
the
very
record,
high
I wanna
threshold
be-
for passive aggressiveness right now because I just rewatched the Beatles Get Back. So by all means, like, yell at each other.
Well, for the record, I want to be on Jesse's team because he's got the winning formula down. So
So does
Oliver
Oliver.
does too.
that's
Or
true. Well, then I'll be on all of your teams.
Yeah.
If
There
our
you go.
formula gets the same answer, you know it's right.
All right, let's do it. All of you on a team.
Everyone, close your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, it wasn't a hard song to do.
It was hard for me. You remember we were like 3 hours trying to get me to learn that song.
What did Brother James say?
I don't even
Brother
remember.
James Blanks had come in there and said something. He turned around and walked out the door. He was like, "Good Lord, what are y'all doing?"
He stayed in there for a good long while and just
Yeah.
laughed his head off at us, like mainly me because I was such an idiot. I couldn't figure it out. But what was so bad is you and Ryan, y'all's harmony was so tight, it was messing me up on lead. And I'm like, how does this even work? Like, I should be able to do my part with no problem. But y'all are so tight, it was messing me up. And I was going with one of y'all. And so
Yeah.
it was a mess. But
Did you have that song pulled or not?
yeah, I got it. You ready for it?
All right. So here we go with the titles. Again, by all means, fight it out. Grab a folding chair if needed, whatever you need. And here are your titles. Number 1, Southern Gospel Point of View Podcast. Number 2, Musicians Talk Podcast. And number 3, Southern Soul Podcast.
Jesse, do you know who that was?
I don't think so, but he sounds like my uncle.
Well, what does your uncle do? Is he a musician?
He does Southern gospel.
Okay, all right. See, we're getting there.
We're getting there. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're going to have to take the lead.
So I mean, they're talking about harmonies. The 4-part male harmony is like the big thing in Southern gospel. So I mean, it makes sense that this would be Southern gospel. to me, but what are y'all thinking?
That.
Can I weigh in?
I'm
as the
thinking
person
that.
hosting?
Do you need to apply your 66% logic though?
No, it only works if he gets it wrong and you get to pick again.
Yeah.
Would you get anything in the room?
Yeah, it might have been recorded on like a phone. It's definitely yeah. This is some guys that love this thing, and they're in a. It doesn't sound like they're in a studio. They're like on a front porch.
Are they in Detroit about to do Puccini?
Absolutely not. No more
Okay.
Detroit for me.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, the gospel one. What's the? It's just Southern Gospel. What was the podcast?
Southern Gospel Point of View podcast.
Southern Gospel Point of View podcast. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, do the other two as well.
Sure. Musicians Talk podcast and Southern Soul podcast.
See, I don't think it's Southern Soul because, like, if when you hear Southern Soul, you think of either like cooking or like soul music.
Yeah.
And these I mean, I don't think it's soul music.
No, it's gospel.
It's got to be Southern Gospel.
All right. Well, two of you have locked it in, but
yeah.
Oliver and
sure?
Max, any objections?
I just saw that when we said that, Elissa smiled, and she usually smiles when she's about to win.
Nice. That's true.
We got a new theory.
Yep.
So you guys you're just treating this like a game of poker at this point.
No. We are not playing by the rules of, hey, this is what we think it is. We are using everything. We're using everything.
I'm tired of losing.
I'm tired of losing. It's obviously not me. I can't get anything right. I'm looking at y'all.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Right. So all right. So you guys seem pretty set, but if we apply the statistics, each one will have a 33% chance of being right.
Mm-hmm.
If we select one of those, we have a 50% chance of that one being right, and then 100% chance that one of those options will be right. So I'm going to jump onto the bandwagon with you because I've applied my statistical reasoning, and let's do it. Let's lock that in.
Well, Southern Gospel Point of View podcast is correct. This episode's a wash for us, Elissa. Like,
I started out really strong.
Yeah,
got the stats.
All right, let's go to Vegas next.
Yeah, let's go. I mean,
yeah, by all means. This clip you guys just heard was from episode 31. It's entitled New Radio Release Reviews, and Reggie, here's Jimmy Buffett. Here's Jimmy Buffett being in caps. Very important that we establish that.
Wait, what? Jimmy Buffett is involved in this?
Apparently someone named Reggie heard him.
Oh, that's cool. Legend.
Yeah.
I'm a big Margaritaville fan, by the way.
Duly noted. I'm actually not that big on Jimmy Buffett, but to each their own.
The restaurant, not the song's great
I know.
too, but I mean the restaurant.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Love grabbing a margarita in Margaritaville.
The volcano.
So here is our description of the show. All things Southern Gospel. So Jesse, you're 100% correct so far. News, trivia, interviews, and more. You can help us out by becoming a subscriber. When you do, you'll have access to exclusive content, some previously released as well as new shows. This allows us to further our show and keep up to date with technology and music. Become a paid subscriber. So there you go. Very good, echolocation on Jesse's part. Just genuinely, I would not have. Yeah.
I just got to give a shout out to the cover art as the resident designer. The typography is actually awesome. I don't know if you guys saw that.
It's awesome with the
5
arrows.
things in there.
Yeah.
They got the clef or whatever that's called as the G. They got these arrows shooting into each other on point of view. That's actually really cool. I'm gonna have to steal this.
Duly noted. Very cool. Let's say
you're gonna see some arrows and Headliners logo coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just purely inspiration.
All right. Well, now we're up to our last clip. It sounds like you guys might want to stay on a team. It seems to be working out for you.
Yes.
I think so.
All right. Well, here goes with our hardest clip of the day, which is purely hyperbole because I haven't heard it yet. by the way?
Those are the big things. I'm a co-founder in another totally unrelated business, and I can't talk about it yet. And it's the most frustrating thing. So I'm really looking forward to that launch so I can share everyone on the work there, which I think is really, they have an amazing mission and vision. So yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. You know, we were talking just about, I mean, it was nice to hear kind of the experience reflected, but you were saying you created these avenues. And so like the one thing I think I would leave people with, I don't know if we're at the end, but this is like the one thing I would really leave people with to think about is make it easy for them. I don't mean your students, give them lots of rigor. But you know, if you want something done, I think the academic version, this is where I got trapped, was like always to criticize and poke holes and prove that it's not a good solution. And in business, that doesn't really work. People are looking for you to bring them a solution.
Okay. So here are your 3 options for today. Edutainment podcast, digital learning podcast, and writing remix podcast.
I like the word edutainment. That's pretty cool. That was my first thing. I was like, okay, cool. Love that.
Yeah, it's a good word.
I forgot to look away, so I saw the cover art, so I think I need to recuse myself.
Oh no, Max!
But I will say the cover art was not telling at all, so I also feel like I don't know anything about it, but
recusal denied.
Okay, I'm still in it.
I don't think one of his teammates gets to deny his recusal.
I'll allow it. I don't think.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it didn't tell him anything.
Incredible.
You don't get bonus points for honesty, though. You do get a pat on the back, but no points.
Would I have got bonus points for lying?
You might have gotten it right. So, yeah, maybe.
Damn.
We like edutainment.
I like it. Cool word. I'm a moth to a flame when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Do we need to do the Costanza method, though, and go against our instincts here?
Yeah, I mean, okay, cool. So I'll scratch that one. But I don't like the writing remix. That didn't make any sense to me.
Maybe that's the right one.
Yeah, okay, cool. I got it. Okay, the one I liked the least, I'm going to pick. Writing remix.
Okay. And what was the last one?
That was the last
writing
one,
remix.
Jesse, your uncle, the gospel singer, what do you think he would pick?
Well, I will tell you a story. And this is going to be a shout out to my undergrad days at Ole Miss, the Living Music Resource, the LMR show. This was a little talk show that we did, and I was did the house band for it, and we called our show Edutainment. And at the time, whenever we Googled that, there was nothing else out there that with edutainment in it. So it's either this is a really new podcast, which is possible since I did go to college many moons ago, or it's not edutainment. But
just a counterpoint, edutainment is like an industry term for like,
yeah, it's
been
a while.
Around since the 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys need to up
we
your
need
Google
to get
game.
better internet at Ole Miss.
Y'all need to play some Reading Rabbit because that's edutainment.
I think we can throw out edutainment. It's too good to be real.
What was the other one? The
digital learning podcast.
It really could be. I have my dumb theory is that like I think there's a lot of good vague podcast names, and I've seen a lot of them as a person that works in customer support for Headliner. I see lots of podcasts, and so digital learning seems like totally up like exactly what people would name a podcast like this.
What was the other one? Something rewriting?
Writing remix.
Yep. Writing remix podcast.
Stumped.
Yeah. I think I'm going to stick with writing remix just because it's the one I like the least.
Writing remix was my initial, let's throw that one out. So I would probably go with that one as well.
I concur.
Let's do it.
Okay.
This is
We locked it in.
Too big. Wait, sorry, we've locked it. But her smile is so big, I think we're wrong.
The stats don't lie. Let's lock it in.
So just to point out, originally Elissa's smile told you guys that she was right, but now it's telling you that you're wrong. This is a very Kulishov's smile effect.
I also smile at everything, so I don't know that that's
Yeah.
a very good metric for success or failure, however you're looking at it.
So
Yeah, don't
You've
question our
locked it in.
methods, Nicholas.
We're not
We've got
listening.
this
I'm not
figured
questioning it. Look, you
We're
guys
going to
have
Vegas.
kind
Let's
of
do
shocked
it.
me with how good you've done this week. Writing remix podcast is correct.
Okay, I have
There
my
you
new
go.
strategy. I have my
That's
new
right, it is.
strategy.
Y'all have to stop making such good titles now that are better, or like they pull from the clip more than the actual episode. The actual title is.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna swap this up. We're definitely gonna do something here.
I
So-
put thought and effort into this. I'm kind of ticked. Like,
No, that's the thing, y'all. You've used the clip too much to like confuse us. But like the actual podcast, like the title for the podcast itself is going to be it's going to be more overarching than most of the titles that we're making because they're more specific to the clip. We're figuring it out. We're only in y'all's heads. We're not in the podcast.
Look, we're playing the long game on you guys right now, so you got this week. Whatever, it's fine. Good for you. But no, next week the gloves come off. I already know what we're gonna do. That's different. Let's learn about this
next week
podcast really quick, though. So this episode is titled "Digital Social Learning Solutions" with Nicole Papawanu-Lugera, and the description for the show is: Writing Remix is a podcast about language, art, pedagogy, and how the art of writing is in the essence the art of the remix. So there you have it. Yeah. Max, it sounded like you had something to say. Are you opposed to us making this harder suddenly?
I was just going to say that next week we're not going to be doing the pod because we're going to be in Vegas winning everything with our new methods.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We could
You're
do it live
making
from
that-
Vegas if you want.
You're making that movie, Oliver's 11 or whatever.
Yeah, there it is. I like the concept of all of us just have like everyone's gonna be like, yeah, why do you guys have this phone that's streaming this girl that's just smiling? And we're all just like, okay, cool, we're good.
Yeah. Just at a roulette
luck
table.
charm.
Just
We
a
actually
weird
put the
roulette table.
phone on the roulette board.
Yeah, right now the
Plus
whole
you gotta
strategy is
see.
picking
so
things
can I
don't
not
like.
go to Vegas with you guys? This is kind of crap. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you just have to be like somewhere. You can be there. You just have to be somewhere else.
I'm just not with you. That's fine. Okay. Tell me how you really feel.
Oh, man. On that note, that brings us to the end of our podcast episode. Clearly, Christy and Elissa are about to break out in a fight, so we just need to end this immediately. And we hope you all enjoyed it. So yeah, bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Oh, wait, it was.
You've
Caw,
combined
y'all.
my affection
Caw,
for
y'all.
howdy with cacaw.